Hi, someone asked me to compare the version of Sheryn Regis and Morissette's Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw. I Want to Let Go is the title. I have never heard a song. So, I will be comparing two versions of a song I've never heard of. This is going to be very interesting. She suggested that I do Sheryn Regis's version first because it's the original. So I'm not really sure why they asked Morissette to do another version. And as far as I understand, this is an OST for a show. I don't know what show though, but okay. So let's start. I've been away from the Philippines for quite a while. That I've actually started forgetting like the different singers in the Philippines. This is number one. I really have forgotten just how beautiful Filipino music is. Just now listening to the lyrics, such poetry, such pure poetry. They're actually saying something. The song is actually saying something. I appreciate that. So that's number one. Number two, this is a very difficult song to sing. Not that I'm any sing, and not that I'm a singer, but I've been anyway. So, but this is a very difficult song to sing. Most of the time, it's counterintuitive. The measure of the song is counterintuitive to the instrument. Um, so meaning usually a song has a measure like 8 8 8 8, so you kind of, even if you don't know the lyrics, once you hear like one two stanzas, you kind of know how the song, you can, yeah, like the measure of the song you'll be able to guess, because usually a song is well structured in terms of the measure. This is so unpredictable in terms of the measure, you don't know when this is ending. So I'll see if I can explain it better. um, like there are parts when you think she's gonna stop, but she doesn't stop. Maybe before. So this one. You'll think she'll end there, and she went on. She continued. There, she extended it again. So in 4 lines, I think the first line she would sing, that's one measure. And then the second and third line is one measure. And then there's the fourth line. I think that's how the key. So it's kind of like it it's unpredictable, because you would think that after the second line she would pause and then third line. But she would do the first line and then the second and third line continuous and then the fourth line. So that's why it's kind of hard to time it, basically. You need to be really good to get that perfect. I want to let go. She makes it sound so effortless. I really have forgotten just how good Filipino singers are. She's making me want to sing. Just her timing is so flawless. Jesus. And she's hitting those notes so effortlessly. She's sitting down. Doesn't even seem to be putting any effort in it. It's completely live. That change. That shift. And then shift. Head voice to falsetto, is that what you call it? So flawless. This is a great song. Who wrote this? Effortless. But you can just feel the surrender in her voice. Just that you can feel the surrender, the helplessness. Like she has nothing else to scream. Like she has poured all of her emotions into crying and she's got nothing left. And I feel like that's why she's able to belt out all of these high notes without putting any kind of effort in it. Because more than it's just the surrender. I think it's more than anything. The pain has taken over her life that she's just completely given up. So this isn't really her wailing in pain. This is her just crying in
Hello, mga
surrender.
pamilya. Subscribe now to
I think.
ABS-CBN Music
All right,
YouTube
so
channel.
let's
And don't
try.
forget to like, comment, share, and ring the bell to be
Let's
updated
try
with our new songs.
Morissette. So they said that this is a remake. Why would they remake that? That's perfect.
Umiiyak gabi-gabi, walang tinig na naririnig, nakikipaglab sa tikmaan na talo na.
So I think Sheryn was, I don't know if I'm using the right terminology. So Sheryn was actually using her chest voice in the beginning, but she's sort of whispering.
Hanggang kailan, talo na, pagod na, akala ko'y kay sa akin pa pero hindi na pala.
She's sort of talking, singing, talking the lyrics.
Naglalagalag sa katiliman, naliligaw, nalilito, ano nga ba ako sa'yo? Sino nga ba ako sa'yo? Dito sa aking pagkakahimlay, sa dibdib ko ay parang may nakadagan, wala
there's like emphasis on certain consonants, like she would overemphasize the T. She would, and I think it's either she's preparing me for something, that's why she's doing this, or if Sheryn is sort of in a mode of surrender. So Sheryn is more when she was going through the high notes. The high notes is when you can feel her surrender for Sheryn. Um, and then the rest, it was more thoughtfulness, like she was talking her thoughts out. Here, I can feel the surrender before we hit the high notes. So I don't know what kind of emotion she's going to evoke when she starts hitting the chorus.
Gusto ko nang bumitaw, ngunit
It was very controlled.
puso. Gusto ko nang bumitaw, may pag-asa
There, she's very controlled. I should say, put it.
kalaban ang sarili. Sino bang dapat pumili? Sino nga ba, ako ba o ikaw? Gusto ko nang bumitaw.
Oh, what was that? What was that?
Kalungkutan ko
That wail. That.
kung kalungkutan kong kaligayahan mo, kung pagkakapos
She's a little bit more angry now.
kung ang sugat sa puso kung siyang lunas dyan sa puso mo, paano na ako
There's some little bit more force in her singing. You know, these are both
kawalan na lamang bakit ang buo sa loob, pinanghihinaan na ng loob. Gusto ko nang bumitaw, ngunit ayaw pa ng puso. Gusto ko nang bumitaw, may pag-asa pa siguro. Kalaban ang sarili, sino bang dapat pumili? Sino nga ba, ako ba o ikaw? Gusto ko nang bumitaw. Gusto ko nang
I think she's like having a battle against herself about whether or not she's gonna let go. So for those of you who don't know what the song is about, it feels like she's in a relationship and the guy has fallen out of love, and she also wants to let go. And that she's tired, but her heart is still in love with the guy, so she's still in love with the guy, and that's what's holding her back. So while Sheryn is more of a surrender, it feels like her is more a debate against herself. Like she's battling herself on whether or not she should let go at this stage. So so far, both are. I thought like when I listened to Sheryn's version, I was like, why would you remake such a? It's perfect. And then I listened to her, and I kind of feel like, okay, this is definitely a different take. There's a lot more anger. There's a lot more angst in there. There's like a lot more pain that she hasn't let go of, while Sheryn sort of has already processed all of those things already. Yeah.
ngunit wala namang nakikinig. Walang magandang pupuntahan, kailanman ang maling pag-ibig. Kaya ngayon bibiling ko muna ang aking sarili bago magmahal muli.
She keeps me on the edge of my seat. Sheryn was like a little bit more relaxed. But then I think it's just how the emotions, the difference in emotion there. Wow.
Gusto ko nang bumitaw,
Nice. She would sustain the high notes far longer. There's a lot more vocal acrobatics and I think both are perfect. It's just two different types of emotions, and it's just that, I guess, what you prefer. I haven't seen the. As far as I understand, this is a an OST for a show. I think so they did, so she let go. So I don't know though. What I'm not sure of is all those belting, all of those leaning backwards, all of the force that she's showing her body to be giving. I don't know if that is part of the act in order to communicate the emotions of anger, of this battle inside, or if that's just how that's her just trying to reach the high notes. Because I know Sharon can reach those notes just fine, and she did. Um, and she could be just as effortless because we you just saw just how effortless she is in hitting those high notes. So I don't know if all those acts of putting her arms out and just giving her body into the song and into the melody, that could very well part of the emotions that she was trying to convey. So it's not necessarily her, Morissette, having a hard time reaching the notes. So I think it's just her emotions she's trying to convey. Um, as for Sheryn, she was just more surrendered into the emotion. She knows that she was going to let go, and she's made up her mind, and that she's spent and she's tired, and that's so when I was listening to her, it's more I'm wallowing in the pain. I'm already sort of in the stage of surrender, while in the five stages of grief, I'm already in the stage of surrender in Sheryn Regis, and for Morissette, I'm still in the denial and anger stage. But yeah, two different emotions. It's just a matter of preference, which one you like better. You like the one with force and with anger, or this one which is a bit more about surrender. In terms of vocal technique, I I think Sheryn just has the natural like lung capacity to do all of things like this. She just has, yeah, she has the voice that will get to Mars before any kind of NASA exploration can ever get there. I think she just has that. That's her nature. But great song, great poetry, and I think this is one thing that I really miss when it comes to OPM, original Filipino music. We rarely come up with songs that don't mean anything. All of our songs are always so poetic. It always is telling a story. There's a lot to learn, whether it is a life lesson or just a simple wordplay or something. But there's always the lyrics are always substantial. It's like a poetry in itself, as I've said. And I like just how, as I mentioned earlier, just how tricky the notes are. You have your first line, and then the second and the third lines are almost like always continuous, so it feels so unpredictable. And then they go into the fourth line, and then that sort of treatment is carried through the entire song. Like there are some lines you feel like are stretched out. It's more, it goes outside of the usual measure, but it's so swift, and the poetry is so good, and the musicality flows so well that you don't really feel like it's out of out of measure or something. Great. I'm so thankful for you who recommended this, because I now I'm starting to miss Filipino music again. So I will listen to more. Thank you.